I mean, I feel like every time we've talked about something in this interview, you've come back to ask better questions of your employees, know them better, be curious. I mean, it seems to be a general theme.
Did you just drop a Ted Lasso reference?
It's all in my head now. It's just baked in after watching the episode. So maybe.
The Be Curious episode. And by the way, Ted Lasso is a show about leadership and how to treat people. It's not a show about football or soccer or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, yes, ultimately, and you know, I have a team I lead too, right? Ultimately, it comes down to like asking the right questions, understanding people's motivations, and trying to align their wants and needs with what you need in your business. That's not always possible, by the way. So some of the harder conversations I've probably had in my career are, probably isn't the place you want to be then, right? Because I don't know that I can give you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But, you know, being investigative, like you said, and asking the questions and really understanding your people, that's core to leadership. Now, be curious. Again, I'm going to go watch that scene right after this because it is just a brilliant, brilliant scene.
Yeah. It's amazing how those things get stuck in your head after watching TV. Right now, you oversee roughly about 1,000 or so employees, right? There's got to be some of the challenges that you faced growing into this position personally. You know, what have been some of those pivot points for you?
Yeah, I'll start with like the transition into management, which I think is going to resonate with almost everybody. It's this idea that you need to empower others to get things done rather than doing them yourself is actually really hard transition, especially for high achievers, right? So, you know, I think back to that inflection point and the stumbles I had there, staying out of people's way, helping where they need help, but staying out of their way and granting autonomy. Like that was a bumpy time. Like, you know, I think leadership is innate to some people and that transition happens quicker, but anybody who is a great performer heading into management, that's a tougher transition than probably we remember. The biggest transition for me, and going back to your question, you know, when I left ServiceNow, there was about 11,000 employees in the organizations I had a remit on. It was an enormous job with so many stakeholders and things like that. And you get imposter syndrome, which I'm sure a lot of people talk about. Do I belong at this level? These people are brilliant. You ask yourself those questions, and it takes time to grow past that. What I think my biggest learning there was this idea of I don't have to know it. Like I remember, you know, making a conscious decision to saying in front of the COO president, like, you know, I don't know that answer. Let me get back to you. Let me talk to my team and get you a good answer. Right. Whereas probably earlier in my career, I would have been like stumbling over my words, but like having confidence in not knowing everything as a leader who has such a broad remit. And now with our 1,000 employees where I am now, like there are plenty of times where I don't have the answer for my CEO. And it's like, hey, let me get back to you with a really good answer. I also learned how to know enough to be dangerous in all the areas I oversaw. So it was this idea of going a mile wide and an inch deep became a really important part of my job as well. And the nice part about our job, Adam, is we talk to leaders and like the people who you would think have zero doubts about themselves, just zero doubts, right? They're the most self-assured person in a meeting. They're always saying brilliant things. They have those same insecurities and doubts. And if they don't, they're probably narcissists and stay away.
Yeah.